Cato 102.3.
What's going on?
Cato knows what's going
This is Joy
on.
Matthews for Cato 102.3, here with Mr. Leo Smallwood. And what a day it's going to be, July 22nd. Mr. Smallwood is going to turn 100 years old.
I started my education at West Cloudy School with a one-teacher school teacher. My first teacher was a fellow that was certified as an 8th grade education, all he had. And that was my first teacher until I was about the 3rd grade. Then I finished with certified teachers at Cloudy until I was in the finished 8th grade. Then I was transferred Rattan was the high school that I attended, and we rode a bus from the Clouded area to Rattan for my high school education. After I graduated high school, I managed to attend Southeastern State Teachers College until I got enough hours to be temporary certified as a teacher. And I started teaching a little rural school at Fraser Valley, which was a sawmill community. And my first year there, I had 42 students and me a green hand, and I certainly got an education right then.
When you was at Fraser Valley, you rode a horse over to the school, is that right?
I rode, the schoolyard was about an acre fenced, and I rode from my home, which would be about 5, 6, 7 miles from my home, horseback to school. So when I rode to school, I just merely unsaddled my horse, put my saddle in the cloakroom, turned the horse loose in the playground, which was fenced for about an acre. At recess at noon hour, when the kids was playing on the outside, the old pony just merely go down in a corner and stand there and didn't bother the students, or they didn't bother him. So that was my transportation to and from. And incidentally, I had students walking to school as far as I rode horseback to school. And that was quite a deal right there.
What was your salary whenever you was teaching at Fraser Valley?
My first salary at Fraser Valley was $65 a month. And the second year, the school board raised my salary to $90 a month, and I didn't ask them. They just did it, and that told me I did a fair job, and I was happy I could buy a heifer every month and have money left at that $90, and I got to work till February for that salary. And
Cato 102.3 celebrates Mr. Leo Smallwood's 100th birthday.
I was drafted in the Army at that time in 1942. At the first, I was stationed at Fort Sill. By being a teacher and getting a lot of recruits in that couldn't read and write, the Fort Sill Reception Center started a special training battery to teach these kids that couldn't, soldiers that were being inducted, to bring them up to a 5th grade education. And I taught school for about 18 months there at Fort Sill. Well, by that time, the soldiers were being shot up and coming back to the States and still able to serve. They replaced us who were 1As, and I was replaced there at my position with some of those returning soldiers, and I took their place on the front lines. I was overseas for about 18 months, and I went through the hedgerows, Dallas. Well, the teaching salary at the time I had left was so bad, I wasn't going to teach anymore, and we were looking for a job. So for about 2 weeks, we interviewed and scouted and was offered several jobs in Dallas. But on about the second week, the superintendent from Rattan called me and said, "Leo, I want you to come home and go to work for me." His name was Ed Perriman, an Indian boy, a real fine man. And I said, "Ed, what you want me to do?" Well, I want you in junior high for the time being. I said, that was on Thursday. I said, I'll be there Monday morning. So I started teaching at Rattan at that time and remaining retired there after 42 years. Yeah, there was a baseball program at Rattan before the war, and it was more or less died away during the war. As a matter of fact, I played on the baseball team first at Rattan. As a matter of fact, I have right now the first athletic trophy that Rattan had ever won that had been discharged, and the superintendent gave it to me. And during the war, the program died.
Happy 100th birthday to Mr. Leo Smallwood from Cato 102.3.
After starting back at Rattan after the war, I started the baseball program back again, which I'm very proud of, that has progressed since that time with several state championships and several runner-ups. And we're still pretty strong in that field of athletics.
You've told me the story before about how you met Miss Jane. Tell us that story.
Funny how I met Jane. At that time, the transportation were more or less limited, and you were kind of confined to a given area, but was going to school at the summertime during the school terms, and the president of the college gave a picnic for each county that was enrolled in college, and so happened this picnic was happening at his home residence in Southeastern, and there was his backyard was surrounded by a hedgerow. So naturally, I was a little bit late, and as I walked through the opening into the area where they were all sitting, they had chairs sitting around the edge of the hedgerow, and being a single guy and such like, I kind of bird dogged the whole circle and saw a couple of, one of them was an auburn-haired girl that looked pretty chic and pretty hot, and then a brunette that was sitting close together, and I didn't even know their names, but anyhow, I asked somebody and found out their names. And after the party was over, to the library I went. In the library, they had the address and the names of these locations where these kids stay, and it was turned out to be my future wife and her next door neighbor. So I didn't know which one to call, and I have carried a silver dollar in my pocket since 42, and well, before that really. So when I got home, I thought, well, I'll flip this coin and see which one I'll call. And I said, heads, I called Jane, and tails, I called Alma. So I flipped it and let it hit on the bed, and I called Jane. It turned up heads, and asked her if she'd like to go to the show. So sure enough, she did. So my future wife for 67 years started right there. Luckily, all 6 of our kids has a college education, and it was not all just Jane and my doings. My kids had to kind of work to help educate themselves, because at one time we had 4 kids in college, and just on teacher salary, it didn't go much to help toward their education. And well, of course, what assistance we could give, we did, and they earned the other part. And so happened, out of the 6 kids, all of them has a college education, which I'm happy.
Cato 102.3's Joanne Matthews and the birthday boy, Mr. Leo Smallwood, celebrating 100 years.
I think you've done really well. I know all of your family, and you know, they will all be here on your birthday. Not only have you done all the things that that you've told us about, but I know that you, in 2009, you were inducted into the Oklahoma High School Coaches Hall of Fame. You were named Choctaw Elder of the Year. Was that also in 2009 when you were named Choctaw Elder of the Year?
I believe that's correct. I feel that quite an honor to be nominated and elected as coach of the fame, because at this particular meeting there were these high pious coaches making $50,000 and $60,000 a month, and I was lucky to make $300 a season. But I didn't coach for the money, I coached for the love. I love the game, the sports, and luckily I had kind of kids that did the same thing. They came to play and they enjoyed as a matter of fact, it was a privilege to be on the traveling squad of the basketball or the baseball. So I felt very lucky being able to have that kind of kids to participate.
Well, thank you so much. You know, you've had a great life, raised a great family. Two of your grandchildren happen to be my grandchildren also. Your little granddaughter, Tara Smallwood, she quoted one of your sayings.
I say my age, by being 100 tomorrow, is just a number. I contend that you don't have to act it. It's just a number that you go by.
And Tara says that you always say,
Watch the idiots.
Thank you for your service at Rattan. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Joanne, and it's been a privilege to have you in my home. So don't make this your last stop.
And of course, there will be a reception on July 22nd from 2 to 4. This is Joanne Matthews for Cato 102.3.
And that's what's going on from Cato 102.3.